All right. So this is really a question answer session. We will give you the updates. We are happy to answer questions that you put in the chat box. And what we've done is collated a lot of the questions as we've gone along that you've already asked us, and we're going to try and answer them. So you've already seen the three of us. You can see us. Jazz, Kalpana, and I. We're all principal consultants at the IR team, which is the international relations team at TC Global. I hope you guys have had a really good day, because there's so much to do today that, anyway, let's go. A little bit about who we are. Some of you might know us as the Chopras, but we are basically now TC Global. We have changed our thinking along with everything, how we can help you. In the last 25 years that we've been around, since 1995, we've interacted with nearly 2.5 million students. And I promise you that all of us absolutely enjoy it. Our mantra is basically shaping lives and careers and helping all of you do whatever we can to help you grow as human beings. So that's a little bit about us. What we've decided to do today is that, your global ed journey with us, we'll start at the beginning and we will end with the post-study stay back options in every country. So that is the way we're going to look at this, and we will ask questions as we go along. Let's do a quick poll on this one. Kalpana, do we have the poll in?
The poll is on. Guys, please start.
So what's your top concern right now? Acceptance deposits, online, visas, safety, or post-study work? Kalpana, will you tell me what answers we've got?
Yeah, the results, actually nobody has done the poll so far.
All right. So we can always come back to it at some point.
Yeah, but do it. So you better know what we can focus on. We want to answer questions that you're really concerned.
Yeah, that's the reason. So, if we knew what you wanted the most, we'll concentrate.
So we've got starting online is 50%.
Okay.
And visa 50%.
50% online and 50%?
Visas.
Oh, all right. So those two are not so difficult. So let's try and answer those questions. So let's go.
Guys, we would appreciate all of you who have just joined in to go for this poll. Bindu, sorry for that. Yeah,
no
I think the results are changing. The visa is going to 67% as we speak. So,
all right. Nobody for safety, huh?
No, not so far.
Not so far. All right. Okay. So let's see what we get.
75% visa now, 25% online. So we know what to talk about.
So it is online and visa primarily, Bindu ma'am. We should only focus on these two aspects.
I know. The two easiest ones.
I know.
All right. So let's look at some good news. All the results are out in the country. So the undergrad students, you should have absolutely no problem now. Only the A levels are left, and which traditionally come out in August. So we are waiting for that. Postgrad students, yes, we still have a few areas which we need to cover. And we are still waiting for those. Domestic flights, of course, have resumed. And the good news also is that international flights look like resuming in maybe the next 2 weeks or so. So those are really, really good signs that the world is slowly, very, very slowly, but surely is opening up. So let's start from the very beginning. Should I go? A lot of you have reasons to ask, should we go? So as I said, the world is reopening, recovering, and hopefully sooner than later, the vaccines are in the process. Let's see. Let's keep our fingers crossed that by early next year, there'll be some form of vaccine in the market. Face-to-face will happen when borders reopen. No school is going to work completely online. So please rest assured, this is one question that we get all the time. The other one is that you can start in India and progress globally. For those of you, not one of you talked about safety, but if you were worried about it, you could start in India. Many, many, many options with Indian universities. And then you can transfer to any country of your choice. Some have tie-ups with them, some don't. Just connect with us and we will tell you which Indian schools have tie-ups with what. We can also do, an NC UK, which gives you, and we have a booth there today, where you can actually do 1 year here. The first year, it's called the International Year 1, and then have a choice of over 10 universities to choose from in the UK. So check that out. Universities have invested I know none of you have clicked safety, but they're spending a lot of money on safety, on online experience, and the resources that are available to you. So should you go, I don't know how many of you attended our coffee hour, which we had with 3 students, 2 from England and 1 from Australia, which Kalpana hosted. And I wish you could have heard that, because they're very gung-ho about studying today and the advantages. You can defer your application if some of you do want to, but remember, in most cases, your application gets deferred, not necessarily your offer. You might have, if it's a very competitive course, your application will go into the pool and they will reassess the application based on what they've got this year. So it could happen, not all do that. In some places, your application gets deferred. Far more flexibility and opportunities this year versus greater competition next year, because a lot more wanting to go once the world open up. Our advice, don't let the year pass you by. Please, guys, consider it. I'm not saying it's mandatory, but if you're sitting on the fence, connect with us, talk to us of what your problems are, and then take a call. You want to defer, we'll help you defer. That's not an issue at all. A lot of them have great refund policies as well, so go for it. Let's look at money. Right now, nobody said deposits were a problem, but the universities are offering extra scholarships in times of need, because they know that people have a money shortage in the market. There may be businesses that are not doing so well, and you need that extra funding. If these are merit scholarships, so if you're a really good student, do ask for scholarships no matter which university you've applied to. There's a one rider to this. No university will talk about scholarships till you get an offer. Once you have an offer, please feel free to ask universities about scholarships. Student aid and bursaries across the board, all countries are definitely trying to be far more flexible in their approach to money matters. They're giving you installments, they're giving you aid, they may be India bursaries in some universities, and fee reductions. Some countries call it fee reductions, UK calls it bursaries, and America calls it fee waivers. So all in all, it's all about the money. Education loans have now started. The banks are back in business, and they are being granted much more easily and sorted out. Again, you need help, connect with your RM, and she will connect you to people who give loans. Just be careful that loans must be from banks that are certified or are accepted by those, the government of whichever country you want to go to. The governments are also very supportive of students who are there already. New Zealand, Australia being foremost. I would say even the UK now is helping out with quarantine, support for quarantine, and they're paying for your quarantine, the 14 days that you have to stay. So many forms of government support are there, and university support. So just make the most of this time. I know it's not the bestest time in the world, but it's not the worst time either. Bestest, by the way, is my own word. Let's look at some questions that we've been getting about acceptance and deposits. Jas, if a student defers his or her offer to the next intake, will the scholarship still be active?
It's unlikely. When you defer, and I think you've made this point already, Bindu, when you defer your application, you're actually deferring. When you defer your offer, you're deferring your application, and your scholarship might be just for that particular application. It might be just for COVID as well. So it's likely that you're probably not going to get your scholarships deferred. Sometimes they might allow you to, but most of the time it's unlikely. So there's a bigger pot this year. It might be the best time to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Don't presume that your scholarship will move with you as well. Kalpana, will I get a discount on my tuition fees if I opt for mixed or hybrid learning?
So there are no discounts that the universities are offering at this stage, but there are multiple scholarships that universities have to for students who are accepting the online or the hybrid programs. These are all merit-based. So be in touch with your relationship manager. They will guide you for all these, scholarships.
Yeah. This discount on tuition fees because of the online learning, the professors work as hard. You get your full quota of teaching that comes to you. So it's unlikely that you're going to get a huge discount on it. But you will save money. Remember that. If you're staying at home, your living costs are completely down. So there's your saving, even if your tuition fees don't come down. Jas, should I go ahead and pay the deposit for September 2020 intake?
Yes, because the competition is slightly less this year. The opportunities are much more this year. Universities are being super proactive to try and allow you to join them, whether that be starting online and moving face-to-face later. But the reality is, yes, there's no reason to waste this time and make this pandemic delay your life decisions when universities are open and they're willing to help you and give you their spots. So, yes.
I would add to that is also refunds. If you have paid your deposit and you can't go for some reason due to COVID, there are many countries which are very proactive about refunds. In some cases, you might have to pay an admin fee of maybe $250 or pounds, but otherwise you'll get a full refund back. The only exception to this rule is the US, so just be careful. And always before you pay your deposit, just read the refund policy. But most of them, as Jas has been saying, are very, very flexible at the moment. So yeah, go ahead, pay it. So how and when will I start? Everybody wants to know, when will you start? If you notice, the dates coming up on this are the same as they've always been. The thing is that nothing has changed, but we will tell you, being in the business and being in touch with all our partners, that these dates are going to get delayed a little bit. Not hugely, maybe by 6 to 8 weeks. So those that were starting in the beginning of September, maybe towards the end of October, but that's about it. Otherwise, there will be starts. So USA has already declared a lot of universities. California is definitely hybrid. They've gone online. Canada is hybrid. They've gone online. But the UK is looking very seriously at face-to-face teaching after the months of October, November. So is Europe. So is Ireland. So Europe at the moment is the one country that may go face-to-face much, much earlier than the others. Australia will be blended, and so will New Zealand. They will all go into blended learning mode, but the borders are not open. In the others, we are hoping that the Ireland, basically Europe, Ireland, Europe, and the UK, the flights will also take off and the borders will open for Indian students. So this is the best time to be going to Europe rather than any other country at the moment. Okay, the others, the borders have not opened, though visas are in full swing. So we've been talking about hybrid, blended, mixed. What does it actually mean? So hybrid learning is a mix of online and face-to-face teaching. This is not what in India we call a correspondence course or a distance learning course. This is not. There is definitely going to be face-to-face learning. It's only the initial because of COVID that, and the borders are not open. If the borders were open, they would have started much earlier. So in some places it's called hybrid, in some places it's called blended, in some it's called mixed, but they all mean the same thing, that you will do part of it online. And by the way, online can be even when you're on campus. Some modules can be online and some will be face-to-face, especially initially. And how it works is you start your program online and move face-to-face onshore teaching as soon as you possibly can. The other thing is online learning will be the new normal going forward. My favorite saying right now is there's no such thing as new normal. This is normal. This is how it's going to be. So whether you go in 2020 or you go in 2021 or you decide to go in 2022, it's going to make no earthly difference. You're going to have part of your course online. So if you think by staying back, it's going to make it easier, no. The borders will definitely be open. That will be the easier part of it. But the learning is changing drastically. A lot of it is being digitized. So let's look at some of the questions. Does starting online mean my entire degree would be online? I'll take this one because I've just finished saying it. No, absolutely not. In fact, for those of you looking at the UK, a lot of questions were on that. They will not even be more than 6 to 8 weeks, because if they start at the end of October and then up to December you have Christmas holidays, so you're basically talking from October to December, and from January you'll probably go online. So no, online does not mean your entire degree goes online. Kalpana, can I start my study in India and then transfer to an international study destination later?
Yes, there are multiple opportunities, and in the beginning of this session, you did touch upon the transnational pathways that are there. So there are many Indian universities where you can join now, and next year you can go to the destination that you want to study at, maybe US, UK, Australia, whichever destination. Please be in touch with us and we will guide you on all those options. And also the mixed mode or the blended learning option is also there. So you could start online for a bit and then join the universities as and when the borders open.
Yeah, otherwise, as I said, study 1 year here, no problem. Will hybrid learning affect my employment opportunities, Jess?
In fact, actually, they'll probably increase them. So, well, they will affect it, but in a positive way. Because a lot of organizations are going to be looking at whether you can do remote working, whether you're a self-starter, whether you're self-motivated. And starting your program online demonstrates all of these skills. So if anything, it will enhance your CV and really elevate you to be able to position yourself better post-study.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that, with what they're saying. With online learning, I'm lacking motivation to do any work without my peer group. Kalpana, you've just done your coffee hour with these kids. What do you think?
So from the kids only, it was great to know that all these kids are in touch with multiple people. The networking hasn't stopped. People are doing their assignments, their internships and everything virtually. And you meet virtual people. The session that we are doing currently is a virtual session. It's a part of the networking that we are doing here. you guys have come on to the platform. It's a virtual, networking. So I don't see any hindrance or any kind of barriers in the virtual world where you can't network or make friends and do your internships.
Yeah,
Bindu.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think there's two things I want to say in that. Our team is a perfect example. We all work in international relations, and we have a member currently sitting in San Francisco. We have a member sitting in Bangalore, Delhi, Noida, Spain, France. We're all over. So we connect, and we're more connected than ever before during this virtual time because we make an effort, and that's what you need to be conscious about, is just making an effort to make these networks, build them. And when you do build those networks, when you get there physically, you'll have these group of friends, you'll feel much more comfortable, safer, and you'll have a group of friends that you've already got. So you'll be there all experiencing it for the first time together. And that's a great opportunity for you. So I just wanted to add.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Jess. Okay, the visas were the big one. We had, 70% people were worried about visas. Okay, let's talk about them. All right. For some countries, visas are not required to start for the online course. Canada, Australia require a visa to be able to start their courses online, but the other countries don't. Having said that, everywhere you can start applying for your visa, even when, take Australia, the borders are not open, but you can certainly, because they need an online visa, they're working overtime to make sure that your visa comes quickly. Normally we say 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes 12 weeks, but these days they're going to do it in less than 2 weeks. They are going to do, the visas will come much, much faster because you need it. So in Canada, even if you're, you don't have all the documentation, but you have your mark sheets and you can show your money. For those of you who haven't done the English language or, can't do the medicals or something, it doesn't matter. They will now give you a temporary visa, and then when you get these documents in, you can give it back. Again, I have to say Ireland, UK, and parts of Europe have already started. Visa offices have opened, and it's in the process. So please, for those of you who want to enroll in this year, 2020, don't hesitate about visas. Nothing has changed in terms of process. So if you had been to us earlier and we'd given you a checklist, that checklist has not changed. For those of you who have not, please, at this you could have clicked Expo and the visa desk, and they can help you as well. If you haven't done it today, just as I said, connect with us, connect with your RM actually, and you will be in touch with the visa team, who will then vet your documents so that we can file a visa. They are as stringent, okay? There is no flexibility in terms of the documentation, okay? So you can't say that I have now got less of this or more of this. Wherever there is they can be flexible, they are. But in terms of checking and verifying documents, please, there is no change in that. The UK does not have a priority visa right now, or the super priority, but Ireland, when you go to the VFS, they have something called a check and verify. Do take that. It's a VFS offering. It's their services. It's about 4,000 rupees plus. And it will prioritize your visa for Ireland, for those of you who are looking at Ireland. If you have questions, just put it in the chat box and we will certainly try and answer them. So I have paid fees. Kalpana, what will be the impact of COVID-19 on further process and visa?
So as Bindu ma'am just now said, almost all countries have started their visa processing. You should be applying for your visas for all those countries where the VFS has opened or the online systems have gone live. Canada has been processing the visa for the last 4-5 months, and they are accepting partial documentation. If you don't have the English at this stage, you can file, or without the mark sheets also they are processing. Australia started from yesterday, so the whole world is open now again, apart from US primarily. Most of the countries are open now, and they are accepting your visa documentation. So please go ahead, come show us your documentation and start filing your visas.
Please don't hesitate with visas, considering that most of you, 3/4 of you, were worried about visas. If I take an online English language test, can I use it for my visa? I could take that one. Yes, online English tests, not everywhere, but Duolingo is the one that is being accepted by Ireland temporarily. All online English language tests are only being allowed for visa temporarily. This session. From next session, they will go back to what they wanted. Language cert is also recognized by Australia right now. They will go back. So yes, you can use an online test for UK. The thing is that if the university accepts it, it's not mandatory for visa, so the others will accept it. Unless you're doing a diploma course, in which case you can't do the online, you will need a cert. Okay? But otherwise, just be careful with it. Check. Jazz, what is the deadline to apply for visa for September 2020 intake?
I think you're better placed to answer that than me, Bindu.
Well, there is no deadline. Apply immediately. There's no deadlines for these. They are taking time. Again, I'll use Ireland because not only are they open, but they have announced that they will take 4 weeks to give you the visa, and it is and they will actually take 7 because they want you to apply earlier for the 2-week quarantine. So otherwise, there is no deadline for September 2020. As and when you get your CAS for the UK, offer letter, unconditional offer for Ireland, ECOE for Australia, please start applying for visa. There's no deadline on this. Can I file my visa online now, Kalpana?
Yes, Bindu ma'am. We should, as we all are saying, most of the countries have opened up, and you should get in touch with us and start filing online visa. Australia online visa is on, Ireland online visa is on, UK is on. So you name it.
Canada is on.
Canada is on. Only country here, which is an exception, is America at this stage. But online visas for most of the countries are on. So please get in fact start filing.
Sorry. Yeah, in fact, even the US, if you actually go on their website, they're showing you October, that there may be appointments in October. So if you really, really want to go only there, though they're all online at the moment, you can certainly, fill up a form and pay your visa fees and get a date. Whether it'll open or not is we will see. But right now, there is no problem with applying. By the way, guys, these were all questions that we have been asked over and over and over again. So if you have new ones for today, just put them in the chat box. So let's quickly do this. When I get there, so now our journey successful. We've got our visa, we've got a ticket, and we've actually gone. So what do you do when you get there? 14 days self-quarantine mandatory in most countries. Some universities are helping you out by, not charging you for staying on campus. Some are helping you. You have to pay for it. So, but 14 days self-quarantine is, come on, guys. Even our cricket team that's going to Australia requires 2 weeks of quarantine before they play. So there you are. Quarantine is becoming mandatory. Many universities are offering facilities at little or very minimal cost. Accommodations are limited due to social distancing. So if some place in the university accommodation will take 100 students, now they'll probably take only about 60 or 70. not more than that because of social distancing. No change in part-time work. Today we had some queries, in our main part of our event. No change in part-time work. 20 hours a week. In fact, if you work in the area where they require people, in the healthcare sector, for example, you can even work more, up to 40 hours. So, especially with the COVID, story going on. Universities are taking adequate measures for safety of students. It's unbelievable the amount of money is being spent on making sure that the infrastructure is safe for students. So social distancing is, though I have to admit, the UK has already brought down the distancing to 1 meter. So that's not very much, but that's the way it is. Any questions for this? Should I book my accommodation in advance, Kalpana?
This is the best time to book your accommodation, because wait for another 2 weeks, you won't get accommodation.
I would agree.
If you have to quarantine for 14 days, it is a great idea to book your accommodation and you are aware where you will go after you arrive in that country. So guys, please go for your accommodation. Remember one thing, if because of some reason you are not able to arrive on the date that you had booked your accommodation, universities are flexible. They're not charging you from the date that you have booked accommodation. They'll charge from the day when you actually arrive on shore. So book your accommodations, be ready with everything before you go. And borders open. Once the borders are open, it's going to be really, really messy. You won't get any accommodations.
That is absolutely true. By the way, all this is COVID created. Huh? Otherwise, they were very tough. You had to pay for your accommodation whether you stayed there or not. But now they're being very nice. Would the universities help with finding the right resources to ensure my health and safety, Jess?
100%. We've had this conversation before. It's the universities that essentially take responsibility of when you go there, and they know that you are an international student. This might be your first exposure to living away from home, being in a different country, living in a different country, experiencing this culture. So not only do they help you generally, but in COVID situations, they're going to help you even more. They've introduced things like one-way systems. Their classes, they're separating them out, so there's social distancing involved and all those kind of things. So there'll be a lot of support in terms of health and safety and making sure that you're safe on campus and by studying online.
Yeah, I would agree. In the UK, though, they're your sponsor. If you look at your CAS, it says sponsor, the name of the university. So, yeah. Will the university increase miscellaneous expenses for facilities and all that? Any of you?
Just you go.
Will the universities increase miscellaneous expenses for facilities? No, they're not going to. No, of course not. They understand. Actually, universities are being flexible and they're being extra supportive in terms of giving you more in terms of financial aid. So there's no way that they're going to go ahead and increase expenses. And the things like accommodation, these are agreed contracts sometime in the past. So they're not going to start increasing that, particularly because they know you can't afford that or you shouldn't have to pay for that because you're still choosing to go ahead with Global Ed. Yeah, they'll probably give you some support in fact to thank you for joining them and being brave.
Universities are, and by the way, you're asking us these questions. When you do get a chance to meet universities, ask them as well. And you will find what all each university is doing in terms of helping students out. They're not only increasing their infrastructure, their safety regulations, but they're making you feel so that you still get the experience. Now the big one, post-study stay back impact, jobs.
This is our big
I'm sure we'll get lots of questions on this. All right. So, USA, I'm only starting with USA because it's this part of the world, okay? I can start from New Zealand. No, there's no change. The OPT CPT has not impacted. They did try and bring in a silly ordinance which said if you go online, they'll have to deport you. That has been overturned completely. And so it's still there. It's very, very much there as long as you complete 1 year onshore, 1 year on your F1 visa. And online programs do not warrant a visa, so you don't need a visa for that. Canada, again, as long as 50% of your course is onshore, there is no problem with stay back. So 1 year gives you 1 year, 2 years gives you 3 years. And if you're in a regional place, you get those little extra points when you apply for your PR. The UK, the GIR, it's the graduate immigration route, not impacted if as long as you are in the UK by the 6th of April 2021. For everybody joining this year, you will finish in the summer of 2021, and you have up to the 6th of April next year to actually get there. So you can save a lot of money by studying online in India and save on your living expenses. Tuition fees will not go down, and then do the last bit in the UK, to finish in summer of 2021. So Ireland, there is absolutely no change. Your 2-year stay back is very, very much there. Germany has no change. In fact, Germany is even easier. At least, even after the 2 years, as long as you do at least 6 months in Germany, you will get your 18 months stay back. So there you are. Students have to be onshore in Australia for 16 months, and they start online with visa. We are waiting for the clarity, though. For the last 2 days, there has been a lot of extra clarity, which we'll get Kalpana in a minute to talk about. Kalpana, would you like to add to that?
For Australia, Vinma?
Australia, yeah.
So Australia has come up with a few good things that they are saying. Students who are going to start online, they will be offered the post-study rights. The thing is, you need a visa for this all, and they haven't mentioned the duration, which is a good thing, because they probably are looking at opening the borders a little later. So they have kept it open-ended, which means till the time the borders are not open, you can study online. There was this thing where you were supposed to do only 4 months initially when they announced this rule, but now they're quite flexible about it. So which is good for all of us.
Yeah. So for the last 2 days, Australia has been giving out little morsels of information. We're waiting for a consolidated thing, hopefully by next week. New Zealand, you need a minimum of 30 weeks on campus to be eligible for PSW. So as you can see, PSW has not been impacted at all. Universities have understood that. The governments have understood that. And there is absolutely, so if we have questions on that, very happy to take them on board. Are post-study options still available? I've just finished that. This is one of the main questions that we get asked. That's why we did it in so much detail. Yes, all post-study options which were there earlier are still available today. And the only ones that have been added is the UK, which has added a 2-year stay back if you do their 1-year course. And this is open to both undergrads and postgrad students. As most institutions have started online learning, will that affect my post-study work visa, Jazz?
You went through that. It depends. There's like certain percentages, and there'll be certain exemptions that they'll allow. So, for example, in the UK, they're not saying that you can't do, you have to do a certain percentage. They're saying that you just have to be on shore by that particular date. Whereas in Canada, they're saying it's 50% at least onshore. So it depends on your location, but you've just gone through all of them, been doing it. We've given you information about the percentage requirements for each.
So no, nothing. Online is not affecting stay back. This Jazz, Kalpana, what jobs are trending post COVID-19?
First of all, let's just break the myth that there'll be no jobs. I don't know why people think this, and I get it. Everyone's worried about there being a recession, and there likely is to be. But by the time you finish studying, we'll be in recovery, so you'll be fine. In fact, you'll be in the perfect position because you'll be the most skilled, you'll be the freshest, the most innovative, coming into the market, giving your ideas, and also ready to work. So If anything, I think that this question shouldn't be asked, but the kind of trends that will be coming out are things in data, things in AI, cybersecurity, anything to do with remote or technology. But also, we had a question the other day around journalism, and it really triggered something in us. We had a great conversation amongst ourselves about the fact that even journalism is going to come forward and media, because there's so much fake news. And in a world of fake news, we need honest journalists, you need honest reporters. There's logistics, transport, there's so many options. What you have to do is clear your minds.
And of course,
reframe
healthcare.
Anything of course, yeah.
Anything in healthcare.
Yeah, so the options are vast, in fact. You just have to be open to them.
Actually, I would also like to add, so each country, if you look at each country individually, every country has a list of skill shortages. And when you go through the list, it's huge. It is not one area or two area or three areas where they are seeking professionals to, join them. So whichever country you are going to, please look at the skill shortage areas of those countries. Apart from the areas that Jas just touched upon, there are many, many more areas. Engineering has always been a skill shortage area across the globe. Accounting has always, professionals. So there are huge opportunities. It's just that we need to open our eyes a little bit.
Yeah, I would say, somebody asked us today about finance. I'm saying fintech is going to be big. You have to combine whatever you're studying with some form of technology, and you should, not have a problem.
Question while we're here, Bindu. This is one of the questions that we've got in.
Yeah.
Waiting to the QA.
Tell me.
Okay, so Tanya asked this on the events chat, and she's come here to ask us. I'm having doubts about regarding part-time jobs. Like, can we do part-time jobs in the healthcare industry while doing our PG diploma program for Canada if we're having a graduate degree from India? I think part-time jobs is a concern for people, so it'd be good if we address that.
Yeah, in fact, I think I answered Tanya. Tanya, didn't you get it? You got an answer on that one. I think it was from me, where I said that yes, part-time jobs are not impacted at all. There are available. They might be a little different. It's like even internships. Internships are not going to be face-to-face, but remotely. There are so many of our kids doing internships. So if you want to do part-time in healthcare, for example, or areas where people are required right now, you will find that there are part-time jobs. But you're looking at only part-time. You're not going there to study at all. You're very worried about it. So let's help you out with that. What are you going to study?
Tanya,
put it on the chat.
Also, to add to that, if you're looking at specifically healthcare courses or healthcare part-time works, there are very short-term courses available, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because they would not allow you to get into healthcare without having some kind of knowledge in that area. So I was talking to a student who is currently in New Zealand. She's done a course for 2.5 weeks, paid $250. She's now helping in an old age center. So they wanted her to do a certification before you get into such kind of thing.
So Tanya, you're looking at nursing, is it? Okay, so that's a different one.
Critical care nursing, yeah.
Critical care nursing, my dear girl, you don't forget, you will not only get a part-time job while you're studying, you will get a job. I mean, I can't say 100% because nobody in this world can give you 100% guarantee, but the chances of your not getting a job are pretty remote, unless of course you do so badly.
Yeah. There's Krishna in the chat. So Krishna, if you're still here, it'd be great to have your advice for Tanya, because I think she's more asking around whether she can get a part-time job in critical care nursing.
Till
because
she gets her registration.
Yeah,
She
she
needs
needs
registration.
which she
No, but have you done nursing here? If you've done nursing in India,
no, she has,
yes,
she said she hasn't.
yes, you will be able to. Yes,
Okay, so let's
if you're a nurse in India.
so some
So
other
everybody
questions.
now wants to know about part-time jobs. So let's start.
Let me ask Amir's question. Amir asked this some time ago. What is the process of admission for master in architecture? I mean, you might be best going to connect with one of our relationship managers there, because that's quite deep. We need to know more about you. So
Yeah, and remember, architecture, I don't know where you want to study it, but architecture could be a STEM course. So you will get that extra stay back as well. So.
And he asked about how he can get university tours before going for admission. We didn't answer it, but the point is, most universities are doing virtual tours. Look on their Facebooks, connect with us. We'll introduce you to them as well, and they'll give you a virtual tour of everything. Ariane said, how will the optional SAT affect the application process?
No problem at all.
Yeah.
SATs are at the moment, a lot of universities are exempting you, are being a little more flexible. So if the rest of your marks are really, really good, try it. Connect with us and we will certainly help you with that. You can do your SATs, to be honest, but if you don't have it and you can't get to it, I don't know which city you're in, then no problem at all. There are many universities now in the US that are being a little more flexible. Again, only right now. Okay, it will change again from next year.
You want me to carry on with the Q&A? I've just broken up the presentation. And Keita said, how do I get connected with Southampton? That's simple. Just go to the expo and you'll be able to connect with them there. But she had another question. What about part-time jobs there? So should I ask
Where?
for the UK?
Yeah, please.
For the UK, in Southampton, actually, it's a student city. So there's a couple of universities there. So there's a lot of part-time jobs available for students. It lives off of students. So you shouldn't be worried at all about jobs being there. I don't think that will be a problem for you. And then
I would like to add something. So you guys, you have to be proactive when it comes to the jobs. In our office hour, when I was speaking to the students, there was this one student who has been helping the international office from the last 5 months when this COVID scenario started. And he is enjoying it. The international office is enjoying his, stint with them. He's giving them inputs, which the international office is implementing. And the chances are, if this, everything goes well, he may be offered a job by the international office by the end of it. So you have to be proactive when it comes to part-time jobs.
Connect with your career center, actually, at your university. You're completely wrong, KZ.
Look, part-time jobs, guys, for those of you who are looking at undergrads, don't worry about it. If you don't get a part-time job right now, you have 3 years in the UK. But for a postgrad student, in any case, it is so tight. You can't do 20 hours a week if you want to do really well. So if you're looking at, just be careful and clever in choosing your part-time jobs. But if you just want to go and stack supermarket shelves or work in McDonald's, I don't think that should be a problem as soon as they open up. But if you're looking at something a little more worthwhile, then you just have to get with your career centers and you'll do really, really well. Okay, Nitesh Joshi, you have a very good query. MSc in cloud computing, job prospects? Child, you already have a job.
Yeah.
You finish your MSc in cloud computing. I'll be very, very surprised if you don't have a job and now you have a 2-year stay back to start with. If you're doing cloud computing, do look at Ireland. They are fantastic in it, and there are many jobs.
Even Australia.
At UK, I think.
Oh,
he's looking at UK.
Yep.
You will.
Yes, it is in the UK.
You will get.
Yeah, there's plenty.
I will qualify my answer by saying you have to do well. It's not enough time jobs and getting a basic pass mark. Okay, you still need to get a high or at least a 2-1 to be attractive to an employer. But anything digital right now, you're on top of the world. I don't think you should have a problem. And for nursing, honestly, Tanya, I don't think you should have a problem either, except your IELTS score will have to be a 7. So get down to that. For nursing, you won't be able to get in. You won't get a visa without a 7. Okay. Otherwise, you can just go to any of the colleges and do a postgrad diploma after your nursing, and you should be okay.
Key takeaways. Okay. Some more questions come in.
Yeah. I had an interview in Southampton regarding PhD. Okay, PhD, my dear girl, is giving you a 3-year stay back. So if you haven't got a job at the end of 3 years, then come back home.
Yeah, that's impressive. Although the example you just gave, Bindu, I was stopping myself from saying it, but I did my master's full-time whilst working full-time in the UK. And so don't be fearful that you're not able to cope with anything. It's entirely based on your willpower and your ability. So I think that's like, there's nothing more to say. You're completely right, Bindu. If you're not proactive about it, it won't happen for you. If you're proactive and you take control, then anything can happen for you.
And microbiology.
Yes, Aryan, what about computer science?
Sorry.
What do you want to know about computer
Okay.
science?
What do you think, Kalpana?
I was saying microbiology is an area which is in demand any which ways during this time. Be there for the next 5-7 years. So great opportunities.
Great. Okay, shall we just do quickly the key takeaways?
Yeah, if you have any more questions, just drop them into the chat.
All right, so let's go with that. Just to summarize, so should you go? Yes, we think it's a yes. Reduce competition, take advantage of all the temporary opportunities. Refund policies will protect you. Money matters, more flexible. Scholarships, bursaries are available. When will I start? A delayed start for face-to-face across the board, across countries, across universities. There will be a delayed start. It won't be, as usual. And no changes for visa that we did. Quarantine is a must, so plan for that and where you're going to stay. Stay back options are all there with certain guidelines. Some say 50% onshore, some say 6 months onshore, some say, 1 year like the US does. So check with, it depends on where you want to go, and connect with us. We are very, very, very happy to take that on board. Stay connected with us, all through all social media, and I should have made this big anyway. We log on to our website. Actually, our website is now new. It is fabulous. There's some very interesting articles in it with insights. So keep track of our events. Like the virtual event, we have lots of webinars, we have master classes that we do on a regular basis. So if you just keep connected with us on our website, that will be fabulous. The other thing I would have to say is that for those of you who are coming to us for the first time, we have come out now with a student portal, and I'm sure you've heard enough. If those of you who've gone to the stage of Rohini and Karan explaining it to you, you will be completely in control of your own journey, of your own Global Ed journey, and we would still like you to connect with us and talk to us, not leave us out of it just because the portal gives you so much opportunity and the independence of being able to see what universities are offering, what scholarships are there, comparing universities, what courses are available. So do log into that. It's a great way to do it. Oh, Aryan, must I go for restricted early action of Harvard's? Do you have the marks for Harvard? For Harvard won't take you without a CT, my dear girl. So you will have to do And with Harvard, you might even need to do a subject SAT, okay? So just be careful with that, Aryan. But
Bindu give you the results
yeah.
from the poll, by the way. So how do you feel about
Oh,
starting with Global Ed now? 29% actually plan to start their program online, which I think is really great to see. But 29% are
yes.
also planning to defer. So same percentage for both. And you might have your reasons to defer, right? But I think starting online, don't be afraid of it because it's online. You won't be online forever, like Bindu said. 21% have no clue. Bindu, what's your advice for them?
Well, you have no clue. After all this, you still have no. Don't say you have no clue. Say you don't want to do it. But yes, I can understand. Things are chaotic right now, so it is a very, very, very difficult decision. But you need to make it yourself. And sometimes, if it's because of the money, or it's because of your marks, or it's because of safety concerns, we will take that on board. But make a studied decision on this. So talk to us. Let us give you the reasons for or against, and let it be a proper decision on what you do.
Yeah.
And 14. Okay.
14 working.
Not everybody obviously voted, but
What were you going to say, Kalpana? I think she's going to say something.
I was just reiterating what Bindu ma'am said. If you guys think we can help, please get in touch with us. We can give you and help you decide on taking the next steps.
Yeah, there was a small percentage, 7% saying plan to study in India, and you might want to consider doing the transnational education twinning program that Bindu and Kalpana spoke about, because then you can start your 1 year in India and you can progress to Global Ed later. So it gives you plenty of options, and it makes sure that you're not cutting yourself off from the wide world that you have out there. So there's one more question if you want. The last one.
Yeah, we have 2 minutes. We can.
Do you need funding for PhDs?
Sorry, what is it?
Depends on the country. Do we get funding for PhD? It depends on the country. There are multiple options where you get funded. Get in touch with your RMs and they will guide you.
Best.
Yeah, and I think
but the best one is New Zealand.
Okay.
No, but the best place to get funding is New Zealand. They have over 40 scholarships, which are government scholarships for PhDs, and then the universities also have them. We don't know what area you're looking at, but do look very seriously at New Zealand. It's a great, great, great place. And you only pay, even if you have to pay for it, you're only paying domestic student fees. So it's a great place to be. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining in, and I hope you went to some of the other sessions. Some of them were quite interesting. So thank you from all three of us, from me, Jas, and Kalpana, and hoping that we see you either in one of our offices or online. I don't know when we are going to get to the offices, but at least online.
We are always available online, so you just need to ask.
Online.
We are available to answer your questions.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.